translation of Scripture in pirate speak.
Jesus steps through the shadows and says, "You best start believing in ghost stories, Missy, because you're in one." Two things frustrate me, and they're only two.
The people that are like screaming like, well, we gotta like ban all these like liberal woke books in libraries because heaven forbid the children see these things, are a lot of times the same people who 2 years ago were driving around with FJB stickers on the back of their vehicles.
Go to church with you on Sunday.
Yeah.
But when ye scuttle booty, let not your port hand know what your starboard hand be doing.
Like, they didn't have to say port and starboard, but they did.
But they did. They went there.
That's
so good. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Critical Levitical Podcast, Season 2. We're here. We're back. We took a little time off. We're back.
A little, yeah.
For a little. Give me this. Let me have it. We're going to talk. We ended last season with a heck of a cliffhanger. We said we're going to talk about the Pirate Bible. And then we stopped recording for like 4 months. So
a lot to think about.
Here's what I have. It is a lot to think. Yeah. We had to read the entire thing.
Mm-hmm, which we definitely did.
We didn't. Is that backwards? It's probably backwards. Whatever.
No, it's good.
It's right here.
Okay, great.
Is it backwards on your side?
Yeah, it is.
It looks great.
Hey, we're going to talk about the Pirate Bible. Have one in front of me. There's a surprising history to this. And
history? Is that what you want to go with? Or backstory?
Sure. Yeah, whatever.
The lore, the iceberg.
Ooh,
I guess
the Pirate Bible lore is incredible.
How would you separate history and backstory? Where's the division?
Yeah, I think I would say I would take a pure stance of history being anything that happened more than like a second ago.
Okay.
Like it's history. Backstory is a subset of history. Nobody came here for us to debate this. Anyway, all the way back in episode 10, we talked about the Pirate Bible.
10?
It was, I didn't realize it was that far back until I started doing the
my
research, which is crazy. And then we talked about a whole lot of things in between that and this, including a lot of things about Bible translations, and somehow never actually got to talking about the Pirate Bible. But we're going to get to it. We're going to start season 2 off with a cannon shot across the bow. I was just really excited about the nautical pun. Thank you. Good. We're going to take a deep dive into the Pirate Bible.
The Critical Levitical Podcast.
We're going to do things a little differently. I just want to get right into the action.
Obviously, considering the way everyone's looking at us.
Yeah. I'll get there. We'll get there. We'll cover that. Don't get ahead of me. We're going to get right to the action. So we're going to talk Pirate Bible. Tell the listeners, remind the listeners what the Pirate Bible is. Somebody go.
Listen, okay. I mean, it depends on how you define Bible, but it is a translation. It's a translation of Scripture in pirate speak.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, that's in its simplest form, a translation of Scripture in pirate speak.
There you go. It's I kind of was under the assumption that it was kind of a meme translation, like which I think it still is. I guess it would still kind of
like nobody's preaching from it. Yeah.
Hopefully, no one's preaching from it.
Yeah, I shouldn't
if you're
say
preaching
that now.
from it, drop a comment and let us know, because we want to feature you on a future episode.
What if though? Like there are cowboy churches. What if there are pirate
churches?
That would actually be pretty cool.
I would try it once. I'll try anything just once.
Do they have a dress code?
So
Jack Sparrow is your inspiration.
Yeah, man. Introduce the kids to the Pirates of the Caribbean over the weekend, which they're a little young. Haley and I talked about it. Like they're going to be scared a little bit, but they're 7, 6, and 2. The 2-year-old about halfway through was like, "I'm ready for bed," and so she just went to bed, which was awesome. The other one's like, when you get to like the skeletons and stuff, it's like it's maybe a little much for them.
That's
but
fair.
It's like Disney-ified, so it wasn't crazy. But no, they loved it. But that also made me think, like, so in the vein of this Pirate Bible, what if Jesus, this is so stupid. What if Jesus, like, so I'm going to paint this picture for you. I'm going to paint the scene for you. Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, the women are headed to the tomb with all of their, they're going to change the linens out, anointing oil, all that kind of good stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, Jesus steps through the shadows and says, "You best start believing in ghost stories, Missy, because you're in one." Like, wouldn't that be just the best, like, tie-in? Anyway.
Does he drink wine and it pours down his skeletal body? Is that what you're saying too?
Well, they handed him some water and then he turned it into
that's
wine.
Right.
And then,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot.
Right. Except it's not a skeletal body because he was resurrected completely bodily.
Well, there's a skeleton in there, but
that's true.
It's not visible. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Which, side note, that's one of the most interesting little nuggets that I've been like pondering a little bit lately is the fact that Paul specifically says, I think it's in Colossians, that Jesus dwells bodily in the heavenly places.
Mm-hmm.
Like his
Hebrews
resurrected tangible body is in a different place, which is hard. I can't wrap my head around that. We're not meant to wrap our head around it, but anyway.
Also true.
So I want to get into the story of the Pirate Bible. But hey, if you're still here, you should like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of debating. Maybe we don't throw the little ad reels on. Maybe we just say that stuff, you know?
Fair.
So hey, just
make it more natural.
Make it more natural. Just drop us a like, drop us a subscribe, whatever the thing YouTubers say. I don't know.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. What's your favorite verse? What verse do you want us to read in the Pirate Bible?
And Stephen will do it in a pirate accent.
Will I?
And a costume.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said he was going to buy one out of his own pocket. So in episode 10, we talked about the Pirate Bible briefly. I don't even remember what that episode was about. It was not about the Pirate Bible at all. Yeah. Oh, you want to know what somebody guess, throw out a guess out of the things we talked about. What was episode 10 about?
Was it what translation should I read or something like that?
You would think so. That would make sense, but no.
I
have
remember.
slept since then.
Yeah. Just throw out a guess. What have we talked about? What are some things we talked about?
What have we been talking about? I mean, we've talked about
I feel
mega
like churches and worship.
That's true. We did that. It wasn't one of those, surprisingly, which that narrows it down quite a bit.
It wasn't the KJV episode?
No, you would think. Because I had to go through, I watched all of those episodes to try to find the segment where we talked about the Pirate Bible.
It was supposed to be a two-parter, right? I thought it started with like what translation is best, and then it went to, I can't remember.
Once again, you would think you guys are giving us way too much credit. We were way more chaotic than any of that. The episode was the Lent episode. Is Lent biblical?
What?
What?
Yeah, that's checks
How
out.
are we supposed to tie that in? It's no wonder we never got to it.
Yeah, I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. So we talked about Lent, and then we introduced the Pirate Bible. Well, one of our listeners, who's into like piratey things, he has texted me more than once in a full text of pirate slang like language.
Nice.
He also loves like collecting kitsch little things, Bible, stuff like that. So we ordered one. He's like, "Oh, that's awesome. I gotta have one." And so he goes to the website and orders Pirate Bible, and he's going through the checkout process, and there's this like checkbox. I think it like starts checked, like one of those like, "Hey, if you would like to receive more offers from whatever, like do this," and you have to uncheck it because nobody wants more spam mail. Well, he just left it checked. It said, if you'd like a free King James Bible to go along with your Pirate Bible, we'll send you one. He's like, "Oh, okay." Like, hey, you know, if you're going to offer a free one, put it on my bookshelf. It'll look cool, right? So he goes through the whole like checkout process, gets to the last page, the like order confirmation page, and it says, "Hey, this is awesome. We're going to hand deliver the King James Bible to you. Actually, we'd love to have the chance to talk to you." And he's a believer, strong believer, super faithful, actually teaches a small group, and was like, "Oh, well, I don't like, that's generous, whatever. I don't want to like take somebody's afternoon to come share the gospel with the believer." Like, so he went back, unchecked the box, continued through the process, checked out all that kind of stuff. Apparently the form had already submitted, because within 2 hours, we're going to come back to that. Guess who knocked on his door?
I have a guess.
You guys don't have to guess. You already know, I think, unless you've forgotten.
No, I
remember,
forgotten.
but it would be fun to
pretty
guess.
good one.
Yeah, guess who was there? Was it Daffy Duck? I don't know.
Gary Busey.
His hair all crazy. You're never gonna believe, man. Two LDS kids.
That's right.
Came to his door and said, hey, we're here with your King James Bible that you requested. They had no idea. So he starts asking them, he's like, oh, so you guys got my order for the Pirate Bible. They're like, the what? They had no idea why they were at this man's doorstep proselytizing the wonders of Joseph Smith. All of a sudden, they were just there with the King James Bible ready to share. And so he talked to them a little bit. He shared the gospel with them, sent them on their merry way. Then presumably they went back to their temple and like marked his address off the list and everything. Yeah, so that's crazy. When we first mentioned the Pirate Bible in a Lent episode,
no idea.
I did not expect it.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. What comes to mind?
I have to say, LDS, nothing if not efficient.
Oh, bro.
Because that is like kind of incredible. Where you can have 2 people available within 2 hours of an online order for something they don't even know what's being ordered.
Yeah.
Like, what's the script? Like, I'm talking about, like, what's coded to get down there, like, to where they receive an order for something. I need to know. I just want to know the behind the scenes.
I have asked myself that question so much because I can't.
Listen, the LDS Church could make an absolute killing doing sales training. Because I've had that thought numerous times. Like, we've got salespeople that struggle to connect with customers that are hot leads within a week. And here you've got people that have no idea really what's going on and have managed to make that connection in 2 hours.
It's just effort, man. Like,
it is.
I'm serious. It's just effort. Like, they try, and it's very obvious that that desire is there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like that. One of the things I thought about, like in that vein, Preston, like sometimes I'm lucky if I can make a hospital visit in the same week, right? Like they're home, they're on their next hospital visit by the time I visit them for the first one. Like, but within 2 hours is just insane. But you're right. Like they care, they take it seriously. Like they read all of their different Bibles and they actually believe them, instead of just like, oh,
keep going.
Yeah. No. That's it makes me feel all kinds of ways. Which I want to next episode really dig into like the LDS Church and some of that.
In 4 months.
Super.
I'm just kidding. I'm playing.
Yeah, in season 3, we're gonna do single episode seasons, 3 a year. That's probably about our pace.
Oh man.
No, it's just interesting. Like I feel like I was talking about this with my small group yesterday. There's almost this weird like stigma in, at least in churches that I grew up in and have been a part of as an adult now, that like we don't want to emphasize doing good things too much because we don't want like people to feel like a lot of it's a proportionate reaction to the amount of like spiritual abuse from legalism. So I get it. I get it. That's a serious thing that a lot of people have dealt with, but I feel like we kind of downplay like doing good works. I've been in 1 Peter recently, and the whole thing is like, which by the way, so 1 Peter written to persecuted Jews in the diaspora, especially in Rome, the ones who are being like crucified and burned alive and like lion fodder in the Colosseum, like going through it. And Peter's like, hey, I know that you have questions about how to persevere through all of this suffering. I have the answer for you. Be a good person. And that's it. It's like, that's how you stop.
Same thing with Paul. Keep going. Yeah. Like, because you talk about when Paul talks about like slavery, for example, notice his goal isn't to like end it. His goal is just be good in where you are. Like be Christ-like in where you are in the stage. Like, I think that is a good reminder. I'm not going to go into this. We're talking about the Pirate Bible. It is just a good reminder that like, we're not called to like change systems. Like, if it happens in a good way, then praise God, but we're called to live Christ-like in our current system. And like, if change happens. Like, we engage, like, especially in the public sector.
We're thinking like cultural, socio-political systems.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I should have clarified. But that's not our primary goal. Again, I think there is a responsibility, since we have so many like opportunities to engage in that we do, but that's not like the purpose. Like, we're just called to be Christ-like where we are. And what happens. Like that's literally the perspective when you read the New Testament. Is like, that's it.
Right.
That's not like, it doesn't matter. Like, Christ is coming soon. That was their perspective.
That's why I start to get super frustrated when people start like politicizing like faith. 2 things frustrate me. And they're
Only
two. Just the two things. No, I think they're two sides of the same coin where we either over politicize our faith or we conveniently I believe in separation of church and faith or whatever.
True.
Or faith in
both are
politics.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like, well, the real answer is to just be like Christ 100% of the time. And that does affect how you vote. That does affect how you engage in whatever. Right. For sure. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but don't try to say like, oh, the only options for voting should be this because that's my worldview or whatever. But then on the other side, when something that comes up like politically that stands in contrast to the Bible, we're like, well, with this matter, we should really separate like what we believe and what makes sense politically. Like, well, I don't think we're afforded the luxury of really either of those. Just put our head down and do good work. Do what we're supposed to do. That's how we win this. I don't know.
I've got a question for you too. So like, I feel like, a peek behind the curtain, which I'm sure most of our listeners know this, we're all of part of SBC churches. And I feel like for multiple reasons. Wait, hang on. for whatever reason, and there are multiple, some valid, some not. The SBC is just under a political microscope, and I mean it's a huge entity. So I
it's the largest Protestant denomination.
That's what I mean. So like totally get that. However, notice that like people, it seems like they just kind of understand the LDS Church, and therefore it's not under a political microscope. It's almost like people don't really care. Does that make sense? They're I already know. Like that's their thing. It's not dramatic like it is within the SBC. There's no like sure, there have been, documentaries about like some radical like LDS group who, whatever. I'm not saying they're not without their flaws. That's not what I'm saying at all. It just seems like from a cultural perspective, the emphasis is not really on the LDS politics. It's really on like mainstream Christian politics. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm kind of curious why. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that.
Yeah, so that's interesting. On the one hand, I will say there's a documentary. I've not watched it yet. Because it's like on a private like website and you have to buy it from him. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Fair.
It's called The Religion Business, where he does some deep dives into like the Mormon Church. And there's like some claim in there. And I am not smart enough to be able to verify. Somebody somewhere claimed this. Take it for what it's worth.
Cameron is saying this for the first time, so everyone...
Yes. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. No, I don't want to come across like the scholarly consensus, which is a meaningless statement. You know what I'm talking, like people will always throw that out in debates as if like that's the winner. And it's like, no, all that means is you found a couple people who wrote a book that agree with you.
The scholarly consensus of the scholars you read. Like, yes. I don't care. Yeah, I know. It's same thing reading a lot of commentaries. Anyway, keep going.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, something like the Mormon Church could take 0 tithes for the next like 50 years or something and still operate unchanged. Like, you wouldn't notice a difference in the way they operate. They have so many resources at their disposal and so many like, for one, just like coffers full of stuff and then like assets and things like that. Again, I've not personally like audited the books. Yeah, don't sue me, LDS Church. If you're out there suing people, don't come after me. I don't know how this works, but anyway, it's called The Religion Business. I can't vouch for anything other than it was interesting when somebody told me about it. So go look it up if you want to. What was your question though?
No, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, like, it just seems like there's not as big of a political emphasis on that side of things. Like, even though they're, as far as like actually like, I mean, there's multiple answers. Maybe some are obvious, some are less obvious. It just seems to me that like the culture cares a lot more about what the SBC is doing than what the LDS Church is doing. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah, and that's interesting because the LDS Church is one of the fastest like growing sects in the world.
Yes, it is.
Now.
I think people don't realize that. Yeah.
Right. Like it's absolutely exploding. For what, I think that like some of the conviction that we talked about earlier probably feeds into that. Like people look at them and say, oh, that's a people that actually...
They're at least authentic. That's like, yeah.
They do what they say and they act on what they believe. And unfortunately, the like SBC doesn't have that reputation.
Yeah. I would say, and this is the frustrating part because, sorry, you need to go because we've been talking a lot. Like, you need to go.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, I think probably a good portion of it too comes down to what is seen like in the public eye. And this is totally conjecture. I don't know this for a fact, but just based on what I've seen and what I know, it seems like a lot of religious participation in like the public sector comes from like evangelical and more specifically a lot of times like Baptist related people and organizations, and you don't see a lot of that in represented like in LDS groups. Maybe that's wrong, but it seems like there's a lot more political participation in this arena versus that arena, and that could have a big piece to do with it. Because like the knee jerk is like, oh well, clearly it's because our like moral, like clearly the enemy like recognizes like that we're on the right side of things, and so it's it's our
take that
convictions that. But like no, because there are some really major things that we disagree with when it comes to LDS versus like Baptist theology, polity, like all of it. But when it comes to like that particular thing we're talking about, we're both like pretty conservative.
As far as like, politically
groups.
speaking. Yeah. Well, same thing with the Catholic Church too. Like, I'll be real. It even feels like the Catholic Church, I mean, they're notorious for, obviously being very conservative naturally, like that's their thing. But politically, they're not, again, as much under a microscope just because I feel like people are just like, well, I already know. Like, you kind of already know. And I feel like, if that makes sense, like, it's almost like, okay, I already know what the Catholics think about abortion. I already know this or that. It just feels like the SBC is more mainstream. And so people think there's more, I don't know. These are just like fresh thoughts, but
it may also be somewhat of the like looking at the polity of the groups, like LDS, Catholic, like all of those groups are like very top down, whereas SBC is like very autonomous.
That's true. That's a good point.
So you end up with
a really good point.
Like pastors who do
more
something like super crazy.
Yeah,
it's like, well, they don't have any oversight, so clearly this is a problem.
That's a good point.
Well, I would actually argue maybe that's for a different reason than you think, because there is autonomy, but I don't think people outside of like the faith especially understand that SBC is made up of autonomous entities.
That's true.
So when
it's not like they're researching like what's the polity of it. Yeah.
So when some stupid Baptist pastor does something stupid somewhere,
which has never happened.
The SBC, right? Never. The SBC has done XYZ, right? Which is the same for Catholic or LDS or whatever.
True.
But it just like, I think more bubbles to the surface with the Baptist faith because there are so many, because there is autonomy, because there isn't, some governing body, which is a blessing, but it also can maybe be a curse when things start to go awry, but it still reflects on the organization as a whole. So like when I talk to people and they're like, oh, you're SBC, it's like, yes, but like I always have to qualify several things and like suss out where they are and try to understand why. But one of the things is, we like are a part of this organization for really two primary reasons. One is we align like with the fundamental doctrines that don't necessarily affect church polity a whole lot, but also because of the efforts of like mission and cooperation between churches, not because we are subservient to this crazy chaotic organization in Tennessee or Georgia or wherever. But people don't always understand. So it got me thinking, you guys had kind of talked about like somebody mentioned the political sphere of like politics. The most common denomination for U.S. presidents. Would you like to take a guess? Like think about where we came from, like as a nation. People were fleeing like really a lot of
Church of England, like Anglican?
That to start out, Episcopalian.
Okay,
which is a branch of that.
Right.
So a lot of the early church fathers.
Interesting.
A lot of the early like founding fathers were Episcopalian, and many even like still like up to like Gerald Ford was Episcopalian.
That actually makes sense. I'm not gonna lie, Episcopal churches are beautiful. A part of me wishes that like the SBC cared about that kind of thing. But anyway,
we care about covering it up with sheetrock.
Hang on now,
lights.
Yep. Yeah, good point. Paint it black.
So Episcopalian and then Presbyterian is the second most populous. The last, would you like to guess the last Southern Baptist Church president that we had?
Polk.
Is it one of the Bushes?
The Bushes were Methodist.
Okay, Methodist. Okay, my bad. Oh my word. There's no way I'm going to be able to guess this.
It's not going to help the image of the SBC. I'll tell you that. Is that a good enough hint for you?
Ooh. What was his name?
Stephen was alive for 1 year of this man's presidency.
Okay, so it's not who I was thinking.
3 years. Sorry, I forgot how terms worked.
So Clinton?
So
What are we talking about?
Clinton?
Yeah,
Clinton,
I was like, then that's the only...
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's from Arkansas. He didn't have a lot of options.
And then before
That's
him,
not untrue.
Jimmy Carter was the previous one.
I think I knew
Southern
that.
Baptist,
Yeah,
which
I think
is
I knew that.
interesting because now Southern Baptists are like, well, the Democrats are the worst thing that's ever happened to planet Earth. It's just ironic that the last two Southern Baptist presidents were both Democratic.
Yeah, that's interesting how that works.
Actually, surprisingly few Catholics. You've got
I would have not guessed that.
JFK, I think, might be the last one.
I think so many politicians claim to be Catholic nowadays. I feel like
Biden.
it's just like,
Biden was Catholic. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, anyway,
I've noticed that too. Like, it seems like Catholic is the like if you
Nancy
in
Pelosi.
the public,
I'm Catholic.
like in the public eye, if you want to like align yourself with faith, but like not really, Catholic
Yes.
is what you go to.
Catholic, yes,
like
completely
you
agree.
hear you hear comedians all the time that are like, oh yeah,
I'm Catholic, but it's
Yeah.
always a but.
Right.
Yeah, no, I know, and it frustrates me to no end. But anyway, it's not like it's just Catholicism is such a history. It's like people don't really. It just you could just throw yourself in there, and people are like, all right, sure, whatever. Like no one really cares or questions.
There's also an interesting like thing with how that like again people outside the church and how they view faith, because I'll talk to people sometimes and they're like, oh hey, you excited about the new pope? I'm like, I can't even tell you his name. Like
he's American.
No, I'm a Red
Right.
Sox fan.
That's right. Well, this was actually the last pope was probably the last time I had that conversation. But they're like, but no, I did have a conversation with a guy when I started here at this church. He was talking about like something about the archdiocese, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. He's like, oh, the archdiocese. Like, aren't you a Christian? The archdiocese is right up the road.
Aren't you a Christian? That's crazy.
And I like, at the time I was like 23 or something like that, and so it's like, that's not true. It's 26. Doesn't matter. 25. I was like, I don't know what an archdiocese is. Is that but like people generally just lump Christian.
The Magic the Gathering card.
That is 3 days in a row that a random person has talked to me about Magic the Gathering.
Sign.
Fascinating. 3 mostly unconnected people.
Fair.
I don't know what's
We all got
happening
together.
right now.
When are you seeing Cameron next?
Right? Like what? Well, yeah, I say that because it's not like the 3 of you were all playing together this weekend or something. Like that wasn't happening.
Maybe. What if you found out though that they were?
Yeah,
right? Like, oh my
Steven's
God.
got a secret MTG group.
Oh, terrific. Yeah, we've never had a Mormon president. Which shouldn't be. Sorry, I shouldn't say Mormon. That's inappropriate. Apparently,
Almost.
LDS. We've never had an LDS.
We almost did.
Yeah, good old Mitt.
Good old Mitt.
Yeah, that's true. So, and maybe that's some of it too. Is there's kind of been a weird stigma around LDS for a while. Well, for a long time since it started. Like, I think I mentioned on the pod before. Like, in the state of Missouri, it was legal to kill a Mormon up until like the 1970s. The 1970s, you could kill a Mormon in Missouri. So there's crazy things like that exist. I remember it's probably about 15 years ago now. LDS Church started running ads like crazy all over the place. Basically just like, we're Christian too. We want to be a part of the club. Which was really interesting. So they've endured a lot of persecution for like what they are, which maybe that feeds into this, like, I don't know. It is an interesting, like, there's an interesting
some of it's,
there.
I'm not going to lie, some of it's warranted. It's not like they've been, it's not like their history is pretty.
You heard it here first. Stephen said it's okay to kill Mormons.
Okay, well, hang on. I will say, though, that would be an interesting study is just to look at the books of state laws and just be like, what the heck whack stuff is still in, like that just said are overlooked and not in practice, but could be like, yeah.
Well, that's like the kind of stuff that I always point to when I like talk with or hear from Christian nationalists, because they'll say stuff that sounds noble at first blush until you start to dissect it. Like, wouldn't you want a more Christian nation? Well, yes, of course. Wouldn't you want a nation that is predominantly governed by Christian values? And it's like, that sounds nice, but which ones? Because in Missouri, we could just kill LDS. Is that what you're after? In Massachusetts, you could kill Baptists until like the 1700s. So which thing are you talking about? Because it never ends well for some group of believers.
Right.
When like...
Good point.
state
if you think there's going to be
policy is built
unity
on.
in like, if let's say we have a Christian government, you think there's going to be unity even remotely?
We can't even agree in our own Baptist churches. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Where we align behind 10 like conforming beliefs, we don't even agree on things.
Even look at like post ascension, and it's like there's the church is established, and it's like great, we're going to turn that into 700 different denominations. Thanks for being here.
It
Jesus.
took 10 minutes for the writers of the New Testament to write like 27 books, where the message of almost every single one of them is get along, please. Yeah. Like, it took no time at all.
Yeah, that's very true.
And then people want to, anyway, it's a whole thing.
I don't know. A part of me, this is, don't tell anybody. But a part of me thinks that this whole Christian nationalism.
Well, this is going on YouTube, so.
Yeah, well, shush. then nobody on YouTube tell anybody. Like, it's just to be transgressive. Like, hear me out. Like, it's not that I think these people actually believe in this ideal. I'm not saying that. There's lots of books people have written. There's arguments for it. But again, I don't think this would have occurred unless it was a fight against culture. I think that's first and foremost what they're trying to do.
The way that you said the word occurred, it sounded like you said it wouldn't have a curd, like it wouldn't have a lemon meringue pie.
Oh, yeah. There would be no curd with Christian nationalism. We can't have it.
Way not.
Anyway. Yeah. No, but do you see what I'm saying? Like, again, it's just a pushback against like a postmodern culture.
Like liberalism. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. Yeah.
I had a very, this is going to go against the grain with some people. So this is coming from a kind place. Trust me, mostly.
I believe you, Chris.
Like what you're saying, I had this thought yesterday, like there's elements of it that are just very antagonistic.
Yeah, intentionally.
Just because.
Yeah.
And I had that thought the other day with, okay, so like, I'm not against this, but like you look at the people that are like screaming like, well, we gotta like ban all these like liberal woke books in libraries because heaven forbid the children see these things, like this is inappropriate for them to see, are a lot of times the same people who 2 years ago were driving around with FJB stickers on the back of their vehicles and like forcing some of us reasonable people to explain to our children that it's not okay to say those words and they shouldn't like see these out in public, but here we are.
And then go to church with you on Sunday. Yeah, it's like no, because I agree. Because again, we've already talked about this. I'm probably the most conservative, and that's whatever. It's of the group. But again, like when we just talked about at the beginning of the episode, like Christians' primary call is to be Christ-like where they are. Like, and so for me, it's just like, sure, if we all want this Christian utopia, like post Mills think the world is going to be, then like, sure, that's great. That's wonderful. Then what are we even saying? It's like saying nothing. It's never going to happen. Like, that the way to get there is not the way prescribed in Scripture. So it's just like, it feels pointless to me. Like that's what I mean when I say it's transgressive. Like they're just trying to get attention is what it sounds like. And maybe that's bad faith. Like genuinely it might be, but that's just kind of, I can't get that feeling out of my head whenever I see stuff like that. So anyway.
I think there's note, probably equal parts to that and all kinds of other stuff. What's up?
Yeah. How many post Mills do you think when they saw AI come along, they were like, oh, never mind. I was wrong.
Yeah, it's over.
Fortunately, most post Mills are entirely irrational in every way imaginable. So they were probably like, this is how it begins. The end is starting. Like, this is about to be the climax of creation right here.
Yeah, listen, we've already talked about AI in the Christian space, but I am very interested to see, like, because I was thinking about this, it's only getting more prevalent in business.
Yeah.
Like you just look.
We need to do another AI episode. It's changed really so much. Sorry.
So it just makes but like, what the heck is like going to happen with churches in the future with this kind of thing? Like, it's not. I don't know. It's only going to get more used, and so I'm just curious how in the Christian space it will. That'd be an interesting conversation, but
I think it'll further that divide. Like we've seen in our church, Stephen and I, a lot of people that are coming in and like, I've been looking for something authentic and real and like healthy dividing of the word, and I think it's only going to further drive that divide where you have a lot of that like, hey, ChatGPT, write me a sermon that makes people feel good about whatever circumstance they're in, and people are going to like see right through that the same way that like college professors know that you just plugged the prompt into AI to write your essay. Like people can feel the sterility of that, and I think that's just going to continue to drive that search for more authenticity.
We need to react to that JP clip, that John Piper clip, when he quoted that AI prayer.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we should react to that. Yeah, I think that it'll start to force. I think you're right. A divide. I think that like AI is not going anywhere, and people aren't going to stop using it. So it'll really, what I hope, and maybe this is the like
tool
post mill coming out of me, is that it starts forcing people to start using it more responsibly. Which and finding responsible, healthy ways to use it.
Right.
Well, that's a whole other episode. Hey, Critical Levitical is sponsored by A Frank Voice. We do books and resources and printables and all kinds of like whatever. If any of these types of things interest you, devotionals or all that kind of stuff, go check it out, frankvoice.com. All kinds of goodies. Helps support the podcast. Turns out when we started this, we thought it was free, and that's not true. So you can really help us. I'm just saying. But there's our shameless self-plug for, today, whatever. Let's do, for just a couple of minutes, what are some fun verses that we can read in the Pirate Bible? Since we came here for the Pirate Bible.
I got one.
What you got?
I got Matthew 6:3.
Matthew 6:3.
Matthew 6:3.
Also, everything's kind of laid out weird in here, so it's going to take me a second to find it.
Oh, I have it. Oh, are you pulling it up? Wait, we have to read from the text, the sacred word.
I was about to, and then you, but then I saw the word
No, go
booty.
for it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
But when ye scuttle booty, let not your port hand know what's your starboard hand be doing.
I love it.
That's so good.
Like, they didn't have to say port and starboard, but they did.
But they did. They went there. That's so good. Preston, what do you got?
I'm curious how it handles the not parenthetical but bracketed text.
Ooh.
Like the end of Mark or something, or
sure.
John 8?
John 7, end of John 7.
Stephen, where did you find like a digital? Do they have the whole thing posted online or what?
No. So this was
he went
on
to Mormon.com and said, "Please come to my house and bring me a KJV."
No, so this
cool.
is
Here's the digital version.
I am on Menonet.com, where Mennonites and others connect. So there's
Menonet.com. That's amazing. There are so many. That's got to be an episode. That's so good.
Connect in what way? Is this a dating site?
I don't know.
And why is the Pirate Bible on there?
I searched Pirate Bible.
There are so many questions.
Yeah. And then so this is a post by somebody called Mike for last year. And he says, the whole Bible done up in pirate speak. Unbelievable. Somebody has too much time on their hands, is what he says.
That was an ad. That's all that was.
And then he quoted a bunch of different verses. Good. And I was like, this is so good. These are so good. Yeah.
Okay.
Next
episode, we're going to really take a deep dive into LDS.
What are they talking about? What are the Mennonites talking about?
And how did they get a computer?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking
about. Mike is an outsider. He just has a friend down the street.
Yep.
So there are no, fascinatingly enough, the Pirate Bible does not have it has the bracketed sections, but it doesn't say that they're bracketed.
Oh,
okay. It's just
never mind.
Hey, here's the
never mind.
Text.
Not based.
Which I don't know what that means. I don't speak your language, Stephen.
That's not really that's actually not that appropriate. Based is just it's weird because it's somewhat associated with traditional conservative values. But if you call something based, it's just good. That's a good thing. The slang term. But again, it can apply to different.
I don't understand.
I've heard in a lot of
and I will make no effort to.
You know what? I respect that.
What do you want to hear, Preston? You gave me an entire chapter. I'm not going to read a whole chapter.
I just wanted to know how it
go to Psalms.
Does it include it? Does it give a footnote? Is it just presented as if this is?
This is John 8:49.
Ooh,
I'll read
Genesis
until
1:2 is good also.
Funny. Jesus replied, I ain't no scurvy devil, but I be honoring me Father, yet ye be dishonoring me. Arg, I'm not aiming to bring glory to myself. Thar be one who search and judge. Says to ye, if a man follows me word, he'll never meet with the cold grip of death.
Okay, listen, I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in.
That's it.
That's all I need. I'm sold. Genesis 1:2 is great too.
Genesis 1:2?
Yep, it's pretty good.
Hold up. Look, they have a QR code, and the center of it is a
nice
old Jolly Roger. Okay.
I appreciate that.
The first book of Moses called Genesis. What Genesis 1:2? The land was a mess, nary a speck of shape.
I love
and
that.
all was shrouded in dark over the deep abyss. But then the spirit of old God sailed across the waters.
Sailed? They use sailed. Huh.
I sailed.
Okay. I don't hate that interpretation.
Give us John 3:16.
The accent, Cameron, is great, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm impressed.
It's on the next page. People are like clicking away from YouTube as we slowly. Arg, great be the love of God, that he gave his only son for them who take faith in him. They will not be doomed, but have eternal life. All right, I'm going to go to
I don't hate it.
Leviticus 13.
Boy.
This. Oh boy. Really? I was skimming through some of Leviticus this morning, and it is fantastic. That's worth the price of admission.
Like, it's fun to read now? Numbers?
No, it's so good. Like there's when it gets to like some of the like the weird like sexual or whatever stuff, like
are they like descriptive or are they pretty vague about it?
No, it's well, let me read my two favorite. Really, when anybody ever says like, "Hey, what's a verse that means a lot to you?" I read Leviticus 13:40 to them. Why are you laughing, Stephen?
I'm just laughing.
God.
Actually, is this right. If he's bald, he is clean?
The man whose hair has been plundered from his head, he be bald, yet still be he pure. He who's got their scallywag locks shorn from their forehead to their chin, be as bald as a cannonball. They be clean.
Ooh. I feel like that has way more words than the original text.
Yeah, I was like, but also plundered hair implies that someone took it, no? Like, hang on a second.
The curse of sin plundered the hair. Yeah, let me see. There's a good one.
That's not incorrect. Hang on a second. Is baldness a product of the fall?
This is so bad.
Hang on.
It must be, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wait, what?
Is baldness a product of the fall?
But there's no
but
scripture.
It says it's clean.
Well, right, but all right, fine.
Yeah, but like things were made clean in the law that were not necessarily like the law is a reaction to sin. So what he's saying is like was the original design that we would
for hairy
all have
people.
Hair.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, would
I'm deciding if I agree. I understand.
Be a thing in Eden?
How dare you?
He was bald way before that, Stephen.
All right, fine. 23.
This is so. I'm trying to figure out. Everything she lying up and everything she lieth up in when she be away shall be filthy, and everything she sitteth upon shall be unclean too. Any scallywag who brushes up against her bed shall scrub their clothes and dip themselves in the sea, and be cursed until the sun sets. That's so weird.
He said, "Oh, man."
If any scurvy scallywag lie with her and her flowers be upon him, he'll be scurvy for 10 days. The bed where he sleeps be unclean, mark me words. And if a wench hath a flow of her blood for many days after the time of her partin's done, or if it goes beyond the time of her partin's done.
Like, when they're translating this, I don't know.
Somebody had to review that.
That's what I'm saying. Like this went through a process, and they're like, I didn't really want to be doing this, but here I go.
Like I'm getting paid $7.25 an hour, so I guess I better.
That much? Wow. It doesn't help with the image of like, Old Testament misogyny. Like some of those descriptors are like, whoa, buddy.
Yeah, it's crazy. This whole thing is wild. Hey, I don't necessarily advocate spending money for one.
Right.
But if you want to visit with a Mormon, LDS member.
We each have got like 3 sentences. If somebody were like, hey, what do you feel about the Pirate Bible? What would you say?
Preston, go.
Just 3 sentences?
That's right.
That's one sentence. 2 more.
Against.
Okay, that's one word. So you beat the time.
Look, I had one of like really close friend, and I would even say mentor of mine, from a previous church I went to.
Sentence.
Had a
I would even say
he had a Bible on his shelf that caught my eye one day called the Word on the Street Bible. You may be familiar with it. Stephen looks like he's not. So it's basically like take the Pirate Bible, but instead of pirate, it's like Ebonics.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So like, and I was like flipping through it, laughing at it, and he's like, "What? No, it's like a great tool." Sorry, what? I thought this was a joke. And he's like, "No, like there's a certain group of people that can like read this, and it makes more sense to them." I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's our job as pastors, like to. I don't know. I can go both ways on that argument. I tend to be very biblically conservative, where it's like, I don't want to roll the dice with anything. So I'm just going to say my job as a pastor is to help you understand the word the way it's written, not necessarily change the language. I know what you're going to say. What
am I going to say? What am I going to say, Preston?
Just like that we do the same thing with translations and like, yeah. Yes,
because there are some dialects that are so far diverged that they're like the Hawaiian Pidgin version, right? People love to pull that up to laugh at, but there are like human beings that's the only language they know and speak. And so to hand them a NASB and say, if you really love Jesus, you'll figure this out, is doing them a disservice and doing a discredit to like.
Right, but that implies that like that our job is done with the handing off of the Bible. Like we're supposed to walk with these people and help them get it and understand it. And like,
so again, that logic doesn't follow though, because I go to Reynosa, Mexico, hand them an English Bible. I know you're not going to understand it. It's my job to just read this to you in English until you understand it. Like, no, that logic doesn't follow.
Nah, Ebonics is just, if I use that book, I'm pandering. Like, that's just me, like, pandering to black people. Like, I'm not going to lie. Disagree. It would not come across very well.
I mean, I would say it depends on what like subculture you're going into. Maybe. If it's a subculture in which, again, that's the only dialect they really understand, they turn on the TV and they don't understand what's being said really because it's a different dialect altogether. It's not pandering, it's being helpful. It's the same thing, and we've talked about this. Go watch our episode on the Bible translations. Why I don't hate the Message translation anymore, because it was a means to an end, because Eugene Peterson was handing Bibles to his inner city church members and saying, read this and understand it. And they were like, we don't. Like, not even like, it's kind of hard for us to understand. We don't understand what these words mean, like the vocabulary. And so he wrote the Message and modern day vernacular so that he could hand them a Bible and say, this is the message. We will go deeper. This is a means to an end, but not to just preclude your involvement from the get-go by giving you something with a completely different set of vocabulary than you are capable of understanding right now. I'm going to help you meet me halfway there.
Yeah, and I think I'm fine with...
Now, this does not do that.
Yes.
To be clear.
Right. This is a different...
This does not do that.
Yeah, I would say my issue's not with like language, like language translations and things like that, but like I'm not going to say meme translations, but things that like, at least from our perspective, look that way. Like what you hit the nail on the head when you said in your example with the Message, like, this isn't it, we're going to go deeper. I think that's the pivotal point. So if we're handing someone this Bible and saying, here it is, go ahead, like this, now you have the Bible in a way you can understand it, go do it.
I would say as long as going deeper doesn't just mean until you understand the way that I speak and can do this, because now we're asking them to conform to our culture, which is not, it goes back to be Christ-like where you are, not try to change the systems or the culture around you necessarily. Just
right.
Be Christ-like.
I would compare it to the argument I'm making to like when we look at like certain mega churches, right, where we're like, that's some of them, not all of them, this is not shade at mega churches time, but there are, I'll go there. Elevation, for instance, like Furtick is on record as saying, like, if you're a Christian, this isn't the church for you. Like, we're here to like get people in the door, get them to a point, and then they mature and go on. And to me, it's like the same kind of argument where it's like there has to be that element of go deeper. Like it doesn't stop here. If this helps you get your foot in the water, that's fine. But this can't end with like this being your daily driver, you know? Like you have to pursue more.
Again, I would say maybe, because if you're asking somebody, like, again, there's people that walk through our church doors that are like illiterate, like trying to get their GED, saying in order to be a good Christian, you have to be able to read the Bible, is doing them a disservice and putting an imposition on them that the Bible never does. So I understand that we can't just dumb things down and hand people a coloring book and say, this is how you find God. There's a lot of pastoral responsibility. We also need to be very careful, and churches are just as bad. There's churches just as bad as mega churches who like condescend the truth and negate the truth and devalue the truth in order to be palatable. There's churches who try to say, no, you have to conform to our established cultural moray within this church in order to be a good Christian. And I don't think that's fair either. I think that's getting outside of what we're supposed to do. Now,
you
again,
can do that without making goofy translations of scripture. That's my only thing.
For sure. I agree. But again, the Hawaiian pigeon, most people think that that's a meme. They don't understand that there is an entire dialect and people group called the Hawaiian pigeon, like people, and that's what that is there for. But I just think sometimes we go too far and say, no, until you have a MacArthur Study Bible that you're memorizing, you're never going to be a good Christian. It's like, well, no, because you're eliminating a whole bunch of people that are never going to get there.
Yeah. So to summarize, it's like, if you want to read the Bible for fun, go for it. Pretty much anything beyond that, like, I mean,
right.
It seems a little... It's just like this one. I think I would be safe calling this a meme translator. Like obviously, like
we are not intended to take this seriously. Really, we want to get down to brass tacks. This is a loss leader for the LDS Church.
There you go.
This is what it is. It's a lead magnet, which good for them. They figured something out. I think that.
I guess.
Well, I want to take a deep dive into that next week.
Right.
So yeah, hey, thanks for tuning in. This was the Pirate Bible. If there's something that we missed in the Pirate Bible that you want us to talk about, let us know. We'll ignore it, but we'll consider talking about it.
I will see it.
Yeah,
Steven
we'll
answer
see
you in the comments.
Yeah, that's true. So as you see, we're trying out a new format. We got us all here. We're in different places. He's there. I'm here. New thing. Think it's gonna maybe work out a little bit better for us. Turns out that not only podcasts are not free, they're also not necessarily easy. So we're trying to find an easier way to just give you the same mediocre, chaotic content that you've come to know and love.
More mediocre this season.
Yeah, look at Preston's camera and listen to his mic. But we're back for season 2, weekly episodes every Friday. Cool. Come check us out. Anything else? Parting shots?
No.
Yeah, nothing.
I'm good.
Wow, that was a very more...
I was trying to connect parting shots to some pirate cannon deal, but, I got nothing.
Saddle up the 8-pounder. Fire a shot across the bow.
Nice. You know way more about piratology than we do.
Piratology?
That's got to be a word.
I'm sure it is. Okay, we're way off.